Rev up your engines!
Well, here's a warning for one of your viewers not to use a particular online parts company. Christopher Vez sent me an email, and he says, could you mention the name of this company on your channel? I bought FCS front strut assembly from Parts Avatar last year. The struts have failed. They have a 1-year warranty, so I told the company. They said they would replace the struts. So I bought KYB front struts, and they're telling me, after I bought the KYB, that I needed to buy the exact same strut, which makes no sense, as it will just fail again. Now they said the warranty does not cover the KYB struts. Don't buy from them. They are scumbags, obviously. This is why I warn people. Buying things online is always chancy. They're far away, hidden on the internet. You try to get something out of them, good luck. This morning I got another email from another person that bought a charger that didn't work. They contacted Amazon. Amazon said, contact this place in Arizona. And they said, don't look at us, contact Amazon. And then they wrote the actual company that made the product, and they never even came back. They emailed them, right? They sent them 2 emails. They never got anything back because realized they're all middlemen. The guy in Arizona was just buying the crap from China, then selling it over. And then he said, don't look at me, go to Amazon. Amazon, well, they're the ones that sold it to you. And then turned around and contacted the actual company that made the thing, but they're in China and they don't give a crap. So, in this case, don't use companies like this. Do not buy struts online. Buy them locally. If there's a problem, you take it in. I have never had anybody have a problem. They go to like AutoZone, right? Even if they have a problem, they almost always, you go to the manager, they'll clear it up. I saw a guy when I was in Houston, and the guy at the counter said, oh, no, we can't do anything about it. And the guy says, let me speak to the manager. He talked to the manager called corporate office, and they said, refund the guy's money. You're there, you're in face, you can get things done. On the internet, forget it. They'll just blow you off. Ha, ha, ha. That's all I have to say. On an EV trip around the country, the U.S. Energy Secretary was promoting a green energy trip with a fleet of electric vehicles, and what happened? They couldn't charge them. And here's one of the most disgusting parts. They're in Ghost Town, Georgia. Some of the chargers didn't work, and they had to charge their vehicles up. What they did was they blocked one of the chargers with a gasoline car to save it for themselves, which is kind of sleazy to begin with. There was a family with a baby waiting for an electric charging spot, and these government people blocked it with their gasoline car. They weren't all EV cars, obviously, right? But they blocked it to save it for them, and they wouldn't let the baby and family come in. They called the police, the people with the baby, and the police said, and I quote, we don't have the authority. Blocking an EV charging spot with a gas-powered car isn't illegal in the state of Georgia. Not only is there not enough charging ports and the ones that don't work, this shows you exactly what I've always been saying. These scumbag politicians in Washington, D.C., they think they're better than us. The politicians have their electric cars, and they will block it with a gas car, where a family with an electric car and a baby is being blocked by the government people because they think they're better than we are. Oh, she's the Secretary of Energy. You'd think now they'd bend over backwards to help a family with a kid. Well, now they got the worst PR. Here's Jennifer Granholm, Energy Secretary, and they're blocking a family. They should have taken pictures. Oh, look, here's the people with their baby in the electric car, right? A good PR. Instead, they blocked them. The people with the baby had to call the police. The police said, there's nothing we can do about it. There's no law against blocking in the state of Georgia, right? 2 wrong things. 1, they're using electric cars you can't charge up because there's not enough chargers. And 2, they're blocking private citizens with a baby from doing it with their own gasoline car because the secretary couldn't wait any longer. You know what I say? People should somehow try to get her thrown out of office for being such a scumbag. Now, realize one thing. That's absolutely hilarious in the United States. Realize there are 3 electric chargers in the United States to charge electric cars. There are 3 for every 10,000 people in the country. So you can imagine if people actually start buying electric cars in numbers, and even if they doubled the chargers miraculously somehow, then there'd be 6 chargers for every 10,000 people. People don't understand. This stuff is so far away from reality. Make your head spin. Chef Wilt 77 says, okay, are you a long bed fan like a 91 Toyota pickup or a short bed guy like a Honda Ridgeline? Well, long bed. I mean, they're pickup trucks, right? So the point of a pickup truck is you can put a lot of crap in the back. You get a short bed, that kind of negates the point of buying a pickup in the first place. A Honda Ridgeline's kind of a show truck, you know? Like a lot of people buy them. They have Honda cars, so they want to have a Honda driveway, so they get a Honda pickup truck. But it's really more or less kind of a stretched out SUV than an actual pickup truck. I laughed my butt off because the other day I saw a GM that had a short bed on it, right? You know what he had? He had a trailer hooked up to it, and the trailer was the wood that he was bringing from the Lowe's store, right? If he would have had a full-size pickup, he could have put the wood in the back of the full-size. So he had to hook up a trailer to his pickup truck because the bed was too short. What's the point of having a pickup truck with a short bed if you're going to use it to haul stuff with? If you aren't, go right ahead, right? But you're not going to be able to fit the stuff in the back like a regular pickup, which is kind of the point of a pickup truck, having a bed that you can fit a lot of crap in. PJR33 says, Scotty, my cousin's looking to buy a brand new Honda Odyssey van. Should he be concerned about the tranny still, or should you go for a Toyota Sienna van? Well, regardless, tranny or not, I'd get a Toyota Sienna van. They are just better built. They're pretty similar, how they look, how they drive. Keyshawn41 says, should I buy a used Tesla? I'm looking at Tesla Model 3, 2018, 58,000 miles, new tires. Should I buy this car? I'm not a fan of electric cars. I would not buy one. They're overpriced, blah, blah, blah. But the market is starting to collapse for used electric cars. If you can get it cheap enough and you want an electric car, why not try it out? It's got 58,000 miles on it, okay? The batteries generally go well over 150,000 miles or more before they need replacing. But do not overpay. I'll give you a perfect analogy. Before this coronavirus crap hit, I had a customer in Houston. He bought a used Model S. It only had 15,000 miles on it. He bought it used. The original owner paid $118,000. He paid $45,000 for it with only 15,000 miles. So he paid about 1/3 of what the original price was. If you can get it cheap enough, go ahead. But if somebody thinks it's worth a lot of money, they're out of their minds. An electric car that's used is only worth whatever anybody will pay for it. And let me tell you, the market's plummeting on those things now. You can get them dirt cheap. I saw a Volvo electric car, new one was 65 grand. I saw a used one a year old with 25,000 miles. The guy was selling for 23.5. Their resale values are plummeting as people who have bought them and tried them out decided, I don't like it, it's not for me, and they want to get rid of it. And other people starting to think, gee, maybe it's not for me. Hardly anybody's buying these things used now, and the prices are starting to plummet. Biff726 says, I got a 2003 Nissan Xterra. It stalls and stops when the engine's warmed up. The cat's unclogged. I have new spark plugs, wires, caps, rotor, but I experience it. Doesn't idle rough and has better power after the tune-up. Maybe is my battery or fuel pump? What do you think? Battery and alternator are very simple to check. You can have a guy like me or a guy at an auto parts store check. It takes 4 minutes. But I doubt if it's that, because here's the thing. If your battery was bad and your car stalled out, it wouldn't restart. You're not saying it doesn't restart. I would look more towards the fuel pump, which can be pressure and volume tested. You got to test the pressure with the gauge to see, okay, does it have enough pressure? If it doesn't, it needs replacing, right? The big kicker is it might have pressure but not enough volume because the pump's wearing out. So it also has to be volume tested. That's what you pay mechanics to test that. And it could easily be the pump starting to go out. Or it could even be a clogged fuel filter. Change the fuel filter first. That's the cheapest thing. And if they get clogged up, that's exactly what happens. As they get hot, the paper inside gets filled up with gunk and the pump can't pump enough fuel and it clogs out. Cheap fix there, if that's what it is. Now here's something you might not have thought of, but there is now a glut of Chinese steel on the market because China is starting to go into some kind of recession. Their real estate boom has gone bust. So China, at one point in time, was the world's largest user of steel because they were building all these buildings, right? Now they're not building the buildings. They got empty buildings. They got buildings they started that they gave up on. So now there's all this steel that the Chinese are produced and there's nowhere for it to go, and they're trying to dump it on the world market. And interesting enough, compared to last year, the United States imported 7.9% less Chinese steel than they did in 2022. Within a year, we're actually buying less of the Chinese steel. We don't have a gigantic boom of stuff either. So, and of course, with the Chinese starting to have economic problems, guess what? They're going to make less cars. They'll need less steel, and they're still making the steel, and now they don't know what to do with it, which, to me, is kind of an analogy of, I think, it's going to exactly happen with electric battery cars. They'll probably end up making a whole bunch of them. Then there'll be a glut of them that no one wants to buy, because we can't make electric cars in the United States and sell them overseas because it costs too much to make them here. Like Teslas are made in California and Austin, Texas, right? Well, in China, the Teslas they buy are made in China, right? They're not importing them from the United States. We're not going to be selling these electric cars all over the world because we make them cost too much money to build them here. Wait till until they start making them and see what happens. Unless they actually learn to say, look, the Chinese kind of screwed up and they made all this crap, now nobody's buying it. Gee, should we follow suit? But then again, there are a lot of lemmings in business all jumping off the cliff at the same time, so let's see what happens in the future with China, the United States, electric cars, and steel. What will happen? We'll find out as time goes on. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.